It's your boy Leanne today. I'm about to do yet another Naruto What If. This is What If Naruto had explosion release. So let's get into it. Where we start off this What If 3 months before before Naruto has his exam to see if he can truly become a Genin. So when Naruto is thinking, damn, I'm not gonna be able to become a Genin. It's a lost cause. And he's just at the library reading a book, and that's what he's thinking. He would overhear, the librarian talking to another person in the library, and the librarian said, "You're trying to steal the scroll of sailing. You know that scroll can pretty much the highest rank jutsu." And while Deku, was hearing this, he was probably thinking, maybe I should give it another try, but I have nobody to train me. And this is where he hears this information. He would overhear it, and he was like, the scroll is ceiling. And as he would hear that information, he would go up to the librarian, and he would ask her if they had any books that has information on the scroll of ceiling. She would give him like one, and it's just the origins of how it made, nothing about it or in it. So yeah, Deku just says, "Okay, I guess I'm out to steal it too." And that kid is pretty much the person who's trying to steal it. So Deku, he tries to go today because he hears that he's trying to that other kid is trying to steal it a week after him. So he just, that's enough time to train, right? And Deku, he steals it the day that he finds out that information, and he actually, switched it. He actually, brought them scrolls, cause you know how Naruto had no scrolls in the Chunin exam. He tried to open the actual scroll that he actually had, and tried to rewrite the other one. It was some weird shit like that. But he had multiple scrolls. They're identical to the ones that the Chunin exam gave them. That means he can buy this shit. That means he buys like a big scroll, and he pretty much learns the transformation jutsu in like an hour. That's when he transforms it into the exact same scroll, but it doesn't have anything in it. So after he would pretty much make that clone of the scroll of ceiling, he would make the clone of the scroll of ceiling, put it in the corner that he found it in, and dip off with the actual one. And for the next 3 months, he has been training with the scroll of ceiling. The one kid that tried to steal it found out there's just nothing in that scroll. That is hilarious. Just imagine committing a crime for no reason. That's hilarious. But Naruto, he stole it, and he still has it, and he's training. And by the 3 months, he will pick up, the transformation jutsu, like I already said, the shadow clone jutsu, after 2 hours, and he's dabbling in the explosion release. Explosion release, it caught his eye, and when he was pretty much, seeing it, looking at the description, telling him how it works and shit, and he feels that what he sees is interesting. So he pretty much, starts learning explosion release. He's kind of dabbling in it at first. He's just using small explosions. And Naruto, he would get better over the first month. And yeah, after the first month, he's pretty much doing basic explosions. Like he's grinding to basically use the explosions in the best way possible. So as Naruto would pretty much be, thinking, damn, I think this explosion release is gonna get me to the top. I'm gonna truly become the Hokage. Like, who's gonna top this? And Naruto's like, Dang, I want a more versatile way of using explosion release. So he would try to use, the steps of an explosion release. He's like, okay, one, condense chocolate in your hand, then, pretty much still have it be condensed, but have it be. I'm just making shit up at this point. Fucking steps to make an explosion. He does that shit. He's like, okay, I'll reverse the steps, and he hoped reversing the steps did something. So reversing the steps actually inverted the explosion, pretty much. You know how explosions, you know, explode outwards? This explosion would explode inward. So if somebody were to get touched by this, it wouldn't do anything until it went off and it would explode the inside of you, not the outside of you. So pretty much Naruto's like, huh, now that's interesting. He would use it on a tree and the tree would explode 2 seconds later. Explode is not really the word for it. It would be implode. It would implode on itself. So it would just in reverse explode on itself, and yeah, Deku's like, huh, okay, and pretty much Deku can use this, this inverted explosion as like a bomb. He can literally just jump in the air, like he can literally just use explosions to get himself in the air, then bam, use an explosion, an inverted one, and that shit gonna be big as shit if he wants it to be. It's just gonna be a big ass explosion. It's gonna bomb the whole fucking village. See ya. It's not a good idea to try to fight Naruto. So Naruto, after the 3 months of training, he's strong, and he's pretty positive that he can pass this now. But he still does, keep the scroll ceiling. And also over the 3 months, he also found out his rhythm release. The first way he used it is that, damn, I can't really use my explosion long range. So during the first month, he realized that he couldn't use the explosions that long range. It can only reach 5 meters. And yeah, he used air to use that to make that explosion go farther. Obviously, with tries, he didn't know that he had wind. It just kind of happened accidentally. So that's when he went to the library, or not to the library, but to the Hokage's office, asked him if he can get like one of those things that pretty much tells you what release you got. And he already knows he has explosions, so he's like, was that wind or was that just something I can do? And yeah, Naruto, he finds out that it's wind and explosions, and he's pretty happy about that. And yeah. So now we go back to present day when Naruto is sitting in the class, and they call him up to basically do the clone jutsu. Naruto would make real clones. Matter of fact, it's a room full of Naruto. At this point, Iruka Sensei doesn't even know what to think, and Mizuki's plan is totally out of the window. Matter of fact, it's been out the window since Naruto has stole it pretty much. So Naruto, has pretty much, did the Shadow Clone Jutsu, transformed into Iruka. He basically did everything he had to do. And Iruka's very proud of him. He thinks that he trained him well, but he really didn't do anything. But yeah, pretty much, he goes and he goes off. The next day he comes back, and he kind of is in there, and he just every time he looks around, he realizes there's less and less people in the class. Like literally, everybody's leaving, and not too long, and not for too long, he realizes it's just him and his team, Sakura and Sasuke. You know, at this point, Naruto he's tired, so he just go to sleep. And an hour later, Naruto wake up, and Kakashi is about to come to the door. Like 30 minutes later, so Naruto comes up with the plan of pretty much pranking him. He would come up with that, he would just, okay, bet. And he would just put the eraser up on the fucking wall, and, yeah, the door would open, fucking thing. Yeah, the same thing would happen. Sasuke, he's thinking, okay, yeah, even I can dodge that. So if Kakashi's really a Jonin, he's gonna be able to dodge that easy. And Kakashi don't dodge it. Sasuke, he's shocked. Sakura really Sakura, she fronting like she didn't want the eraser to hit him. She's like, oh yeah, that's so bad, Naruto. Why would you would ever do? So yeah, Naruto, he laughing hysterically. Yeah. Kashi would reply to to the eraser hitting his head. He would pretty much pick it up, throw it back at Naruto, and he would say, "You made a joke. You're funny. You're a clown." And now we skip to the rooftop conversation. So yeah, after that, pretty much it would pretty much go the same. Kakashi would ask them what their goals and aspirations is, and Naruto would pretty much be hearing Sasuke's and Sakura's. Sasuke's is pretty much the same. He wants revenge for a certain someone. Sakura, I don't remember what Sakura said, so she can barely get out words, and she's stumbling all over the place. Doesn't matter. And yeah, it's now Naruto's turn, and Naruto's is a bit different. He says that recently, over the last couple of months, I've been able to, you get a whole bunch of power. Like, bro, I'm about to be good. I just unlocked a whole bunch of power. There's nothing to tell you. Like, he's basically saying that he's gonna be the Hokage, and that's not a goal or aspiration. It's just fact. So when Kakashi's like, okay, yeah, okay, and Kakashi, he pretty much tells them don't eat, and yeah, he body flippers off, and the rest of them leave. Now Kakashi, he's thinking as he would body flipper back home, he's thinking, damn, okay, that's probably just another team that would, you know, that's just gonna fail. Sad to see, sad to think that mm, Minato's son was gonna fail. Like, yeah, even if Naruto has all that power, he only has the power of a Genin. It doesn't matter what he has basically. Even even Sasuke with the three Tomoe Sharingan, if I were to give him that right now, he still wouldn't be able to beat Kakashi because he still lacks experience, jutsu. Like, bro, Kakashi is a god compared to Genin at this point. Like, there's nothing that they could actually do to even harm Kakashi. And Kakashi, he's like, okay, yeah, there's probably just gonna be another team that's gonna lose. So we skip to the next day. Naruto's there, and so is the rest of them. And Kakashi would come through hours later. Naruto, man, he's just like, okay, let's get this over with because I've been here for too long. And yeah, Kakashi, he's just explaining it, and he says, yeah, I already know y'all gonna fail because y'all only care about yourselves. It's just me. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna beat him. It doesn't matter what y'all do because I'm God compared to y'all. Y'all are just getting. You're not gonna do anything. I know over 1,000 jutsu. Matter of fact, I have the. Um, I know over 1,000 jutsu, and he almost slipped up. Said, "How?" Matter of fact, I have the Sharingan. That's hilarious, but he pretty much is just telling them that I have experience. I have Thai jutsu. I have jutsu that you would never even think existed. And yeah, y'all are just gonna lose. And this gets Sasuke mad, so Sasuke ran up there and he tried to fight him with a kunai. And Naruto ain't backing down from the challenge, so he gonna use explosion to propel himself up in the air. Once he does do this, he just kind of uses a bomb, and he just screams at Sasuke to move out the way. And Sakura had been running. Sasuke's like, "What the fuck?" And he run out the way. He's like, "What the hell is he doing?" And Kakashi, he's like, what the fuck is that in the air? And yeah, he gets hit with it, and Kakashi turns into a wood, turns into a wood ball, and Naruto's like, damn it, and he's just trying to find where Kakashi is. So he's using chakra in his legs. He's sprinting all over the place, and Kakashi, tries to do the same trap. Naruto's about to go for it, but he kind of stops in his tracks and realizes, damn, there's a trap. So he doesn't go for it. He literally does not, and Sakura goes for it instead, and she gets trapped. He saves Sakura and tries to take the bells, but Kakashi would have to reveal himself from the tree, and now Sasuke is trying to find where Sakura and Naruto are, and he sees them fighting Kakashi, so he runs over there with a kunai trying to get the upper hand. And Naruto realized that Sasuke is trying to fight Kakashi too. So yeah, they all start teaming on Kakashi. And Sasuke throws Sakura a kunai, and that's how they end up actually winning this time.